Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of UnderExposed, our weekly macro show hitting all the biggest topics and trends impacting crypto and broader Web3. Today is Tuesday, March 17th. That means this is our St. Patrick's Day special. We are celebrating with some green weekly candles for the second week in a row, but will this trend continue, or are we in for some pain to come? We're going to talk about it on today's show. I'm your host, Tyler D. I've got D's in the house. D's? Jan, how you doing?
Jim, good to be here. We got the in-laws visiting this week, so I'm a little more hands-off than normal, but glad to check in and see the market is up and to the right again.
The in-laws can be very helpful with the new babe.
Oh, it's huge.
If you've been off on your own for most of the
just
time.
Having some help cleaning up around the house and like breathing a little is nice. So shout out to the in-laws. They've been super helpful.
Hopefully you two get a little bit of downtime, maybe a little bit of maybe sneak out.
Yeah, maybe go to the store together, go grocery shopping.
That is always nice. Is it as cold there as it is here? I shoveled our driveway yesterday.
Yeah, so we went from the classic 71 degrees on Sunday. I am out in shorts washing the car by hand. And then yesterday and today it's snowing. It's good old Midwest, baby. That's why we live here. We like the rapid change in weather for just to keep us on our toes a little bit.
Oh yeah, we love it here.
We love it, dude. We love the snow.
A fellow by hand car washer, I do respect that. I like to wash by hand as well.
I'm just paranoid with the Tesla shit. Like I'm sure I could take it to one of our local brushless car washes, but I just wash it by hand.
It's stressful. You have to put it in the right mode.
So they've made the mode better though, because you put that mode in when you're washing it by hand, and now it has the full like car wash UI where it's like, hit the brake, switch this thing to roll mode or whatever, so it doesn't fuck up. But I still don't trust it.
Makes sense. Well, folks, we're going to talk about more than just washing Teslas here on today's show. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk some macro. No Peter today. Unfortunately, he's out on spring break. He'll be back with us next week, I'm sure. So we'll do our best to fill in some macro chatter without him. We'll talk Bitcoin's continued outperformance. Is the bottom in, or the 4-year cycle is going to win? Hype, outperforming everything in the world, but perhaps some more perps trades on the board. We'll talk Zero a little bit. Big move on that token over the last few weeks. The OpenSea delay and some this Vanity Fair piece. I haven't even had a chance to digest it. But
we're reading it as the show is on.
So we'll dig into that a little bit, plus more. A couple housekeeping items. We are live on Kick. We're streaming live on X as well. Make sure to give the Kick a follow. And folks, Yeet giveaways. You're going to want to stick around for the end of today's show. We're going to do another 2 Yeet giveaways, $500 each. Today's code Delayed Christmas Pump. You'll need to have registered on Yeet using the Morning Minute affiliate code. Go to the proper link for the Yeet contest. Put in today's code Delayed Christmas Pump, and you will be eligible to enter. We'll spin the wheel at the end of the show. And always, before we get started, quick disclosure: the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not reflect the views or opinions of any organizations they are associated with. We are here to share insights, provoke thought, and maybe even stir some debate. But this is not, I repeat, not financial advice. While we talk about markets, investments, and trends, remember your financial decisions should be made with the help of your own research or the advice from a licensed professional. All right, let's get into it. I will fire up the screen share for those who are in the stream, either on Kick or on X. And here we have it. We're bucking the trend. Again, D's, we've got some green on the board on a Tuesday. We could get used to this. What's more standing out is the green on the weekly board. And now I guess it's kind of spilling over to the month. So we've got Bitcoin at 74,100. It's up 4% since last week's show. ETH up 12% since last week's show. Hanging out at 23.25. Solana's up 7% from last week at 94, trying to get its way back to 100. On the macro front, it's really just been Iran war and daily escalations And this administration kind of saying a few different things, saying, I'll go to the war could end any time, but also it's not going to end anytime soon. There's a lot of misinformation going around on X. Unfortunately, it's hard to get a clear read, but it seems like it's been fairly one-sided. But at the same time, controlling the Strait of Hormuz seems like it's a pretty difficult task as well. We've had oil settle around 95 or so. Yeah, it's hanging out at that $95 level here today. That seems to be the daily fluctuations in oil seem to be the primary driver of markets. But zoomed out, crypto has been leading the way since February 28th when the war started. Gold is at 5,000. It's down since February 28th. Stocks are, I think, flat, maybe up a tick, maybe up 1% or 2%, while crypto, Bitcoin went to 63. It's at 74, so up almost 20%. Some alts are up significantly more over that time frame. So it has been a crypto rally since the war began. Deez, I guess, are you buying it? Is there a vibe shift? Does it feel like the gold bulls are finally maybe taking a back seat, or do we need to see more to really believe it? Kind of what's your take?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what time frame you're looking at things, right? Because if you're zooming out more, gold bulls are still right. But I do feel like we sentiment wise in February, it was the worst it's been for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years. So it's nice to see that if that is the bottom, it lines up with what the sentiment was at. I kind of was a little more bearish even myself and thought maybe we'd go lower. But if we hold above this like 70, 71K area for Bitcoin, I'm pretty optimistic. I saw some good bullish propaganda last night. I think Taki put out a video on why he is long Bitcoin and thinks the bottom is in. So that was good to see. Always love just seeing any type of propaganda that fits my bias.
Me too. You and I are aligned.
Yeah, and then also I know we didn't mention it yet, but Circle, man, like I got that on my list, and it's at like $130 now, or $130. So seeing that just continue to rip since February, it's over doubled. It's been crazy to see too.
Yeah,
I mean, we started talking about it, I think, again at like 90 or 100, and we're like, oh, is this gonna go, do the thing? And we're like, yeah, maybe, but I'm not buying it. And then of course it's doing the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's up over double now, up over 100% from the local bottom. But I guess for a little bit of context, I mean, the thing had been down only.
Yeah.
Down 70%, 75%. And then it was the Q4 earnings on February 24th. They went from 61 to 83 the next day. So that was a hard move to catch unless you were dialed in, you saw the earnings and then you made your move that day. So if you bought after earnings, you're up 50%, which is still incredible. It's still outperforming all of the majors. But catching the whole move was a little trickier, but it's hard to argue with. And you got folks like Stanley Druckenmiller coming out now and saying that basically he's not even a crypto believer. He says that crypto is a solution looking for a problem. But then in his next sentence said he thinks stablecoins are going to replace global payments in 10 to 15 years. So even folks like him are bullish. If you look at the stablecoin metrics, Circle is outperforming Tether in a few different categories. So over the last month, USDC growth is up 7.7%. Tether's flat. So this has largely been USDC. And since the war, it's up $4 billion in circulating market cap. So you kind of see sold off the stablecoin USDC market cap sold off a bit into January, while crypto was just kind of overall selling off. Hit a bottom at 71. It's back up $8 billion off the bottom. So they've been a clear winner of this bear market. And then something else notable. So Mizuho published some guidance on what they're calling adjusted transaction volumes. And basically in 2026, Circle has done 2.2 trillion in adjusted transaction volume compared to just 1.3 trillion for Tether USDT. So Circle for USDC outperforming by 50% on this adjusted volume metric. And when I looked into it a bit, their adjusted metric is trying to take out basically like wash trading.
Gotcha.
Perhaps automated trading.
Like zero fee trades on platforms. Yeah. I mean, personally, I still use, I mean, not that it really matters, but just anecdotally, I still normally use USDC as my preferred stable. Kind of always have. I think the only time recently I've had more than like 10 grand worth of Tether was the Mega ETH raise. That was like, they were doing Tether instead of USDC, so I swapped some, but I still like have always felt a little comfier with USDC. I don't fully understand why.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It's my default. If I've used USDT, I'm going to swap out of it. It's USDC for me, and it's hard to argue. Like, where does it go from here? That's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's still 2x off all-time highs. I think a part of their tailwinds too is one of the bear cases heading into this year. Part of Jeeves' short thesis, which was the correct thesis at the time, was that this was going to be a rate cut cycle, and Circle said they make money on the rates. But now it's looking like it's not going to be as much of a rate cut cycle, a rate cut year, as perhaps we thought. Only a 22% chance of a cut by June. So now the whole first half of this year pretty much wiped with respect to rate cuts. So that's going to continue giving them some tailwinds. And then I still think there's like this open idea that agents are going to trade with stables, and that's going to be a big explosion. I think that's a part of it as well. And there's just not that many ways to express the trade. Like if you were going to tell someone to bet on stable coins, how are you going to do that?
I feel like it's still only Circle.
Yeah.
It's not Plasma or stable. I know that.
It's not Plasma. No one's pitching Plasma to their friends and family.
I mean, I guess stable is up.
Yeah, it's coming off the bottom, I guess, but
yeah, I would rather, I guess.
But I mean, so that's the Circle trade. We got to talk Hyperliquid. I mean, it's
shout out oil.
Broken record.
Yeah,
it's the number one. It really does feel like it's the number one token.
Yeah, I can't believe I sold Zero and bought Lit, and then I just look at the Lit performance relative to the Hyperliquid performance. I'm like, man, why the fuck do I own any of this?
Yeah, that's a lights-hard move. You let Peter.
I know. It's a small bag. It's more of a bag that's like a hedge on my respect of like Jez and Will and Peter and other friends. And it's like, all right, like if I lose money on this, I get to like just the next time we're hanging out that they lost like 100x more than I did on it. So that's it's almost more like bit equity. But the Hyperliquid chart, man, every time I checked it this weekend, it felt like it was up a couple bucks. And then yesterday or today, seeing it go over 40, it was very nice. I haven't unstaked any to sell it. I'm still holding it. I feel like I say this every week. But yeah, it's something that's very easy for me to hold. There's been nothing easier for me to hold over the last year and 4 months or whatever than Hyperliquid.
So since the war began, it's up 50%. So it was at 27. You can see the huge candle on the 28th. And then it kind of chopped there for the first week of the war. And then I feel like this is the area where it really started catching more of the mainstream headlines. You know, Bloomberg's covering
the Bloomberg article with the trading over the weekend with oil last week was good.
And then Wall Street Journal covering it this past weekend, which gave it another. I feel like could very well have been the driver behind this last candle. So yeah, I mean, look at this. It's basically it is just up every day, like since at least over the last week. Of course, Bitcoin had 8 straight green daily candles as well. So we're in a very local nice stretch for the crypto market overall. But,
yeah, we have to be getting out of the nice stretch because when I open up Hyperliquid and I see Zcash up 15%, I start getting a little nervous.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, oh boy, here we go again.
Is that the warning sign?
The canary in the coal mine is the Zcash pump.
I keep asking myself if hype can break out against Bitcoin, and then it just keeps making new all-time highs.
Yeah, how does that chart look relatively? Is that what you have up right now?
Yeah, this is hype Bitcoin. It looks like it maybe pulled back a bit this morning, but from this morning, but it hit like a smashing new all-time high briefly when Bitcoin sold off this morning at 0.059.
I keep looking at the ETH Bitcoin chart too. Just like I hate owning ETH. I bitch about it all the time, so I feel like it's due for some type of run. I noticed this weekend it was outperforming Bitcoin just by looking at the daily numbers. I didn't even look at ETH BTC till this morning. But I don't know. But do you feel good about Solana? Do you feel as good about Solana now as you felt like last year? Do you feel like pendulum is swinging back to Ethereum denominated stuff?
I feel like it has like no momentum.
Like Solana has no momentum?
Yeah. So Solana to me feels like it has no momentum, but at the same time, like it's kind of it's one. Is it going to outperform Bitcoin in a big rebound? I feel like my gut says it probably will. It's like kind of a faster horse off the bottom. But at the same time, like I don't want to jump in the trade.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a little unclear to me, kind of like when Ethereum didn't have its clear like pitch or thesis, like what is this, right? Or what's the buy thesis? I feel like Solana is kind of in that camp right now. Like it's got speed, but now it's getting challenged on speed. The meme coin trade is over. It wasn't necessarily even a good narrative for Solana. I mean, it's getting RWAs, but that narrative has also seemingly lost a little bit of steam. So it's kind of hard to articulate. Like I'm not necessarily.
Yeah, the Sol ETH chart to me looks like it might break down to that like 0.03 level. Relatively, I don't own any Solana. I think I have like 10 ETH that is sitting in a couple wallets. But yeah, relatively low on both of them. And yeah, dude, that I remember when that chart was peaking, 2025, and I just thought it was gonna like break out and go to 0.1. And it took me until it went down to like 0.06 ish to realize like, oh dude, it's not going to 0.1. You need to sell your soul. So that was good times.
So all the way from Pico bottom, it was point.
Dude, it was one of the best, like easiest trades I've ever made.
Yeah, went 10x.
I didn't even start putting ETH in the Sol until like November of 23 when it was already at like the 0.2 level. I kind of let it bottom and then bought the breakout, but then holding that for a year and a half, basically, was a very nice, just like relative trade. And now I've been just Bitcoin hype. And we keep talking about zero in chats, but I haven't bought back in. I really regret it. We had a good opportunity this weekend, actually, and I just got greedy with it. In-laws are visiting. They came on Saturday. When they showed up, the price of zero was like $1.95 or something. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I should just buy, 25 to 50 grand worth and just like restart my bag and just get something so I'd feel less FOMO. And then I was like, yeah, I think I might be able to buy this at like 0.1 or 1.8 tomorrow. So I'll just wait. And then of course now it's like fucking 230. I don't have any. I sold everything I had at like 215 on that pump in February because I thought at the time, like, this is our liquidity event. Didn't know too much about all the plans for the token. Did not know about the unlock schedule where some of the whales who are going to get unlocks have already sold those. And was unaware of some of the other stuff Brian put out later on after it. And the price went all the way down to $1.50. We didn't buy it because we thought we might get it at $1 or $1.25. So this has been tough because I would not be shocked if this is at $7.50 by the end of the year.
Yeah, neither would I.
I mean, it could be over $10, so none of us would be shocked. I think this is one of the more interesting infrastructure plays that we have available at a relatively reasonable FDV.
To me, all these trades still kind of boil down to, what do you think is going to happen with Bitcoin? Do you think the bottom is in or not? And if the 4-year cycle plays out and the bottom isn't coming till October and it does revisit 60 or even the 50s, aren't all these alts going to have, you're going to get your entry again?
Yeah, and you're going to have to be convicted enough to buy when you get that entry again. Just like how when we had Bitcoin in February, we were like, yeah, it's like, I don't really have conviction. This is the spot to buy, even though it just went from basically like 100K to 60K. It's tough. Like now it's 75K. It's like, yeah, I would like to buy 60K Bitcoin again. And we say this all the time, but then when the time comes to buy it, when the price actually gets there, we tell ourselves the story of like, well, I really wanted to buy it at this price, but now that it's this price, I want to buy it like, 10 or 20% lower. So it's more about, I think, just like having some type of plan and acting on it here, which I need to come up with at zero. Like, yeah, I'm not buying zero at 230, but if I can get it under $2 again, like I'm just going to buy at least 25 grand when it's just to fucking see it in my portfolio app when I open it. And that way I can buy, more 25 or 50 grand chunks in the future and build out a better position.
Yeah, my plan was to try to DCA in overtime, hopefully in the $1 to $1.50 range. And that range just never hit, or it hasn't hit. And again, but the thing is,
but you might get that range over the summer too. And you're like, we don't know.
I'm not racing to get into it, but at the same time, as someone who is bullish on a longer term time frame, like I don't think 229 is also.
Oh, here, I'll tell you a token that has a bottom that's in, because I capitulated on like 25 grand worth of it over the summer or the weekend. And that's Banker. Banker hadn't moved for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. And I just cut it and bought more Pokemon cards with the money. So that definitely is prime to rip like 50 to 2x, 50% to 2x, because I cut it this weekend.
It really feels like the war has just totally diminished the AI momentum across like all markets. So like, yes, in crypto, but in macro, like one of the big bear cases was the Citrini, the job cuts. Like on Friday, Meta kind of snuck in a headline that Meta is going to perhaps lay off up to 20% of its staff, and seemingly no one's as worried about it anymore. But I feel like that's all kind of still.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at just even looking at the indexes, if I look at NDQ or SPY, they look kind of heavy. Like they look like heavy charts. It's a chart where if you were in crypto and you saw it, I don't know if you'd want to buy it, but given how index funds work and stuff, it makes it a little easier to buy. But they do look like they could have a sharp down move in their future.
Looks like it's rolling over a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't love it. But
from a TA perspective,
TA doesn't really, I feel like, matter much on indexes, but still, when I am going through Trading View and I hit the up arrow and I go from something like Banker or Rect to NDQ, it's like I gotta change how my brain's thinking.
The challenge for me is like I am in the camp that any positive news on the war front is just going to send markets, at least briefly. So if we get some surprise out of Iran, is the S&P just going to jump 5 to 10
if we can weeks? I just looked at our Rect bag too, and that's bottomed. Hopefully, we could get any bullish news going. That that chart looks due. It's at prices that we haven't seen since that. Was it like an exploit or like a margin? There's like some liquidation cascade in November where prices dumped over 50% in a day, but we're like back at that price level. So I'm still holding a bunch of Rect, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
Hasn't been at these levels since May 25 outside of the November mishap.
And this, the May 25, so March, May, that was the generational buy at that level. Like if you hit that, and I did luckily kind of come in. I missed the pure bottom, but I came in on the leg up.
Yeah, it went insane.
Huge returns.
My dumbass, I just never sell things, especially when they're my friends. I sold 50 grand worth of profit, so I'm not too mad. But I like round tripped $500,000. Which isn't the worst.
Another interesting coin to watch here, and we brought this up on FOMO Hour today, kind of out of the blue, but there was some news, and it's Aster.
Aster, yeah.
Let me pull up the news first. So today they put this kind of, at first it felt a little cryptic, but they were saying trade on Aster chain. So it looks like they're rolling out a chain.
Okay.
Chain Genesis live now. They're going to have a partnership revealed tomorrow, and then public staking for holders starting later this week. Some new UI, some other announcements as well. There's also basically promising speed. There's going to be ZK for privacy, so privacy is going to be a part of this as well. The pitch is pretty clear, right? If you are like the bull case, CT's or CZ backed, it's a chain, big partnership, staking, checks all the boxes. Then we were looking at open interest, and it's the clear number 2 for perps. Let me try to find where the
is the Aster chain just like an ETHL2, or did they say what that is? I'm assuming. Like why is there Aster chain over just doing it on like Binance Smart Chain?
Did they explain the rationale?
I'm going through it. Yeah, I'm going through it. This was like purpose built for derivatives trading, 50 millisecond block time, 100K TPS, 0 gas. So yeah, I mean it's better than what BSC is right now, I believe.
2 billion in open interests, but the clear number 2, Hyperliquid at 6.7. For perspective, lighter at 780. So 3x lighter.
What's the market cap of Aster?
It's right around 2 billion market cap, 6 billion FTV. So it's trading at 20% Hyperliquid, basically across market cap and FTV. FTV is actually closer to like 16, 15%.
It just makes me feel like I should buy lighter. But I know they're not making a chain.
That's what a Lightard would say.
I know, but lighter's like 300 mil, 1.2 FDV. Like I'm like, fuck, like that. I was expecting those Aster numbers you just read off to be like 50% lower. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of surprised it's even still at 6 bill FDV.
So it is out of whack on just a pure multiple basis, and of course there's more factors at play.
It's like, is this multiple actually like sticky though? Like, is this stuff gonna stay? I don't know.
And then like the soft factors of Hyperliquid getting coverage from Bloomberg, from Wall Street Journal as well, right? And then there's also just the concept of betting on the winner versus the second or third best, right? Like
yeah, that's another problem with lighter.
Not always playing out, but Aster does kind of look like it's bottomed.
Chart looks nice. If it doesn't go under like 65 cents again. But yeah, are you making a play here? I think you mentioned Mando was.
Yeah, Mando opened up a trade this morning on FOMO. I had to find some coins in the virtual couch cushions.
Put the AI dog down out back, you old yeller. Rolled it into a 25x long on Aster.
My investments in meme coins in March of 2026 haven't been going swimming.
Oh man, dude, the only meme coin I was early to, I sold early, which was Shape, because I just love the Shape store. And then I saw this weekend that Punch found a girlfriend or something, and Punch the monkey went back up to 20 million after being down to 5.
We missed the viral catalyst. He found a girlfriend, and then the token went up 300%.
You just say you don't. You don't have the imagination to be trading these animal tokens if you're not thinking about potential mating pumps in the future. And it's fucked up too, because the first thing when I saw the clip was like, oh, this had to pump the token. And then I opened up the FOMO and searched token and was like, yeah, of course this fucking pumped the token. What are we doing?
Oh, punch. Yeah,
I keep opening up FOMO just to see like what's going on the day. And today it's just a bunch of, well, the testicles up 72%. And it's showing me that because Dip Wheeler is down 100 grand still on all the testicle he bought, and I follow him. And then we have some random butt coin up 30% to 15 million again. And the AI stuff isn't even on the trending page anymore, which is how I know it's dead. Because normally when the AI stuff was going off, my whole trending page was just like, different agent tokens. Kelly, Claude, Phoenix, whatever. So
it's been a dry stretch. Like I check the board every day just for the minutes, and there's not a whole lot to write about.
The question with the AI stuff is there anything meaningful in this new batch of like banker agent base AI stuff that is just getting completely ignored and dumped right now that can come back, right? Because there has, in my head, I mean, I don't know what the best things to buy are, but there has to be something here that's staying. I would hope so.
The challenge for me for almost all of those tokens are like, it's still at the end of the day just a meme coin, because none of them, even if it's a real project, none of them have adopted their token in a meaningful way to actually incorporate it. So it's still just a pure meme play, and it's unclear the market's going to put value on that for any extended period of time. Again, until we see it, until we see like a bubble start to blow up again. And that's why I think the rotations have just been so violent and nothing's really having much staying power. I mean, I got Tibber still kind of hanging out there, and it's still
Tibber's been impressive. I still feel like
meme coin because, like, yes, we think there's a secret project. There's some glimpses of it. Still very unclear how the token would tie into that. But
yeah, and I would have thought, I was kind of expecting if they had bullish news that they were sitting on, that they were going to drop it in February during that wave of like AI craze, because that, felt like an opportune time. But they didn't. So it just makes me think they're still a slower cook. Speaking of dropping stuff too, I mean, we got to talk about this OpenSea.
That's the perfect seg right there.
Yeah, we kind of talk about open. Speaking of dropping stuff or not dropping stuff based on market conditions, we have OpenSea coming out, and basically my read of it yesterday was them saying, "Hey, we know we fucked up the timing on this drop for the 5th year in a row, and instead of releasing it, we're gonna wait for the market to get better." I was like, okay. Well, and then they offered the refunds for like the waves that weren't high volume and super impactful to revenue, but then they didn't offer the refunds to the first couple waves, which a lot of people were farming because they thought an airdrop was very imminent. So just a whole mess of calm spaghetti soup salad.
Yeah, it's messy. And I think my first reaction was actually positive. I was like, okay. Well, I wasn't surprised. Like, I knew they were going to delay. I'm like, okay, they're going to wait for the app. They're going to try to get metrics up before they launch. Okay, that all makes sense. And then, like, the more that I thought about it, I really don't like how they positioned it, citing market conditions, because like there's a fairly big body of evidence that it actually makes more sense to launch in a bear market and let your token grind up versus having an explosive start and just down only forever. And I think had they tied it like to their app, like, hey, the app's still in beta, we want the app out and being used before we launch a token, because it's all coming together. I would have a little bit more respect for that, and to say, hey, we're just not ready. We thought we would be, we're not. But that's not really what they said. And that felt like a miss for me. And I think there are real risks now of people just kind of giving up. I mean, the farming data is out there, right? Waves 3 through 6 are tiny compared with waves 1 to 2.
That's why they offered the refund for those waves.
The metrics aren't going to look good. And we talked about this a little bit, but I'm curious for your take on this. I feel like the miss, and Dudas was talking about this too. Dudas said basically like, why not just be the eBay for NFTs? Like that's kind of where they started. That's where they got all their original traction. And now they're going into token trading, perhaps perps trading. It's not clear that there's real demand for that. Or there's at a minimum, and I haven't seen their user numbers. We know there's tons of competition, right? And OpenSea is not going to be the one-stop shop for perps trading. And it's probably not going to be most people's go-to for token trading either. Let's just be honest about it. But what it could be is just the absolute home for all NFT trading. And then there's a real scenario where NFTs do expand into real world assets and luxury items and perhaps into this card craze. Like
I wish, like I put out a shit post kind of today, but not a shit post saying, you know, what if OpenSea built a aggregator for all of these on-chain cards that I want to buy, and I spend all, you know, not all, but a lot of my free time that I have, which is only like an hour a day over 15-minute chunks, looking at 5 to 7 different fucking crypto platforms for deals. And some of these cards already show on OpenSea. Like you got Courtyard, BZ, all the ETH stuff's already there. So it'd be nice. Like there's no way for you to be like, okay, I would bid on any PSA 10 first edition Charizard and I would bid like 500K. There's no way for you to like make a bid like that on chain right now. You're only able to bid on specific cards. So like if you want to bid 500K on a first edition Charizard, you got to find every single one and send a bid like one at a time. So it's hard to like set bids, and then that hurts liquidity. A lot of these on-chain marketplaces, I'm getting cards for 20 to 30% sometimes cheaper than what they are on eBay or TCG Player, which is impressive to me because I'm also not paying tax when I get it, and the redemption on all these platforms now doesn't include the tax that it used to include. So just I feel like a very liquid market that to me, it's more fun to trade cards on chain. I've ordered 300 plus cards from eBay and TCG Player, and the amount of time I feel like I waste tracking the cards, unboxing them, changing their sleeves, adding them to my like portfolio app, putting them in my binder, like all that shit. When you buy an NFT, it just happens automatically. You don't need to do anything. So it's kind of reaffirmed what I like a lot about digital collecting. And like, I don't know if I'm so biased through my experiences in NFTs to like want all this stuff to be digital because it's just better for people who want to trade and collect these. Like the only person it's not better for is the person who wants to have a row of slabs behind them up on the wall that they can look at every day, which is like not really what I want to do. Or it's better for like obviously eBay and TCG Player who are making 10+% on every transaction.
Yeah. This seems like such an obvious sector to go after. And they have the infrastructure. Like maybe I'm just missing something.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking a cycle ahead into the future and they think trading cards are going to die. But I don't really feel like they are thinking cycles ahead. That's not the vibe I've ever gotten.
So no token now. Myriad's got it 11% to come before June. And I'll say that's generous. I'd say it's 0% to come before June. I think it's probably 10% to come in 2026. In 2027, I'd probably put it like 30 to 50%. Like where are you at for like if and when? Like realistically, like would you take a 30 to 50% bet on 2027?
I would take. Is it 30% yes or 30% no?
Yes.
I would take 50-50. I would take the no on 2027. I don't know if I would take the 70-cent no, but I would take the 50-cent no.
That's still a lot of time.
And I wouldn't take a big bet on it. I would throw like 5 or 10 grand on it just to have like a sweat. Like it wouldn't be like, I'm not that certain that I'm going to put $250,000 into this 50-50 bet. Not that certain.
Yeah, that's 21 months out. Like a lot could change. Even the 4-year cycle bears are calling for October bottom. So
I don't know exactly what they're waiting for. I mean, I don't think, unless they just think NFTs are going to get to a point where they were in 2021, that I don't think they are. Like, I don't know what exactly they're waiting for, because if they're actually bullish on what they're doing, and they were to do a token in the bear market, you're letting all the airdroppers sell the lows. You're letting all the investors who want to get out at a low price, and you're letting anyone who actually believes in you to buy at the best price they've ever been able to get, probably since like their Series A, which I don't remember how much that was, but if they were really confident what they're going to do, like if they released in the bear market, they would be able to get out all of the token equity basically that isn't confident in what they want to do. They get rid of the airdrop overhang and the investor overhang, and then they grow more and help, anyone who invested in them after. So I don't know.
It makes a ton of sense to me.
I don't know exactly. Like they want to release a token at the top so that all of their investors and airdrop people can make the max amount of money they can dump on public and like walk away. Like that's kind of how I see it between the lines.
Yeah, that's the only interpretation.
I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but that's just like how I'm reading the situation here.
Or they want more time for Vanity Fair to keep pushing out the thesis.
Yeah, so this is another thing. Like, Devin had to have known this Vanity Fair article was coming out today. Did he put this out last night just to like take the edge off people who he knew were gonna be like, dude, why are you doing Vanity Fair articles when you know there's not a token out? Like, am I silly for thinking that he thought about that when he made that post?
The timing is absolutely terrible. As a user, I'm viscerally more upset after seeing this. And I will caveat, I have not had a chance to read this all. I just found it like 10 minutes before the show. It started going around on X. But this piece on Vanity Fair titled "Crypto's True Believers Demand to be Taken Seriously." They partied like rock stars, searched for aliens, practiced survivalism, and sometimes showed up without shoes. Then crypto winter came and they lost billions. And then this is the group that they're featuring, which with Kathy Wood right in the middle.
That's like, how did they pick this group of people? They got Meltem.
Finzer's here with is Gua. It's not his wife. That's just his business partner.
I have no idea, honestly.
And I don't know who these two gentlemen are.
Danny Ryan, I feel like, is the person who sticks out a little to me, is not like the others here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other guy, the blonde guy, I had to look him up, the Bitcoin Playboy. They call it. Everybody in the article has their own like little moniker, or like what's their nickname? We got the Wall Street Rebel Novigrads.
So I'll have to go through that. And this one specific paragraph, just juxtaposed with him a day before citing market conditions for not wanting to launch the token. I'm just going to read it. Where's Devin? Demoir asks. Finzer and Quo are 4 floors above in their own private suite with a personal team of assistants, security, and celebrity hair and makeup artists surrounded by racks of couture. I have Armani Privé flying it, Quo tells me. An elegant black jacket from Mr. Armani's last collection before he passed away. In the end, after millions of dollars of couture have been considered, she chooses an Armani gown that isn't even couture and forgoes wearing her jar jewelry. Not the best look. Not the best look. And now that like this whole messaging, like I'm thinking about differently. Like he had to have known this Vanity Fair piece.
Oh yeah, I don't think they just do a Vanity Fair profile like that out of the blue.
It's not great.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't be buying OpenSea on secondary markets at the minimum.
I'll have to dig through this more. Also, their specific, their duo, Finzer and Quo, the Build-A-Bear and the Product Mommy.
Yeah, that's. You sent me this article like 2 minutes before we started the show, and then I tried to read it and take it all in, and all that I could get out of it was the pictures.
So we'll take time, and I'm sure we'll have more thoughts next week. But folks, go check this out. I'm sure it'll be all over crypto Twitter today.
Oh, it is. I've been scrolling as we've been talking, and it's making the rounds already.
And some of the quotes from the article are just they're so wild. I thought people were shitposting, but no, they're actual quotes.
Nope, it's not satire. They want to be taken seriously, Tyler. Why don't you take them seriously?
Take us more seriously. On taking seriously notes, Kaushik, $1 billion bracket challenge.
Oh yeah.
If you get the perfect bracket.
What are the chances of that?
1 in 9 quintillion by the pure
free,
odds.
dude. That's free.
That includes like every permutation of like every 16.
Yeah.
So like it's actually, I think you can get it down to like trillion, but still probably not going to hit. They're going to give $1 million to the winner.
You say $1 million or $1 billion?
1 million to the winner.
Oh, dude, they should give $1 billion to the winner.
That would be splashy for sure.
I don't even know why I thought you could have said 1 billion. That's just the state of the prediction market. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't they be giving $1 billion to somebody?
I'm curious if they did. So this is capped at 10 million entries. If they had done uncapped dollar entries in the AI era, like do you think they could have profited? Like, could they have gotten over 1 billion entries? I don't know. It would depend on like their APIs. Most likely. I'm just spitballing here.
You got like top quant firms pivoting to trying to win the $1 billion bracket challenge.
Because like if you really whittled it down and you set your parameters, like, okay, I don't need to run brackets for anything beyond like a 6 seed making the final 4, or even like a 4 seed, right? Like especially with the way this year's tournament is looking to shape up. You could probably get it down to like 1 billion reasonable brackets or so. And then do you have the compute to push that through? Of course, you need $1 billion in cash to put it up. So I guess that is a challenge. Thought it was interesting, but on that note, so I was looking at, and we don't really talk sports odds that much, but I've been digging March Madness. I did a Calcutta draft last night, so all the odds were very top of mind for me. These poly market odds on tournament winners are fantastic. Duke's going off at 5-1. Arizona's over 5-1. Florida's at 10-1. Like these are all substantially better odds than you can get on DraftKings right now. So I'm expecting the prediction markets to have quite the haul.
Are you making any March Madness fun bets?
I'm probably gonna fire Duke at 5-1. Like that seems insane. Like a lot of the models have them at 35 to 40%. So that seems a little too low. I went to the Big Ten semifinals on Saturday in Chicago. Got to see Michigan, Purdue, Wisconsin, and who did Purdue play? Oh, UCLA. So I got some nice boots on the ground read on those.
Were you impressed by any of the teams you saw?
I was expecting more out of Michigan. I thought Michigan looked really soft.
Yeah, they were number 1 seed too.
Yeah. So I came away bearish Michigan, bullish Purdue, but also every time I'm bullish Purdue, they let me down. I'm a Purdue alum.
Yeah, that's tough.
Every time I'm bulled up on them, they just like let me down. So like it's hard for me to get too excited. But I mean they came in as a 7 seed. Like they walked through that tournament. Like they handled Michigan in the final. The UCLA game, it was close, but Purdue was pretty much in control the whole time. So I mean, Purdue you're getting 25, 24-1. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and they're a 2 seed too. It's not like they're a 5 or 6 or 7 or something here. It's
Gonzaga going off that you're at 1.4 cents for like the Gonzaga Michigan State.
Maybe instead of filling out a bracket, we just make a couple fun, $50, $25 bets on some of these sub 10-cent teams and just see what happens.
Also, there's theories here, or like the betting thesis is you don't even need to win. Like if Gonzaga goes to the final 8, if Purdue goes to the Elite 8, like you're going to hit like
sell
2 or 3x on these, right? Really across the board. So like I think there's a real school of thought to just try to pick your lead 8 in the prediction markets and see if you can get 2 or 3x's on there. So that's one way to play it. Our friends over at Yeet are also doing a March Madness tournament. I believe it's free to enter. I think $6,000 prize pool. So definitely encourage folks to check that out as well. And on that note, maybe we just get to our Yeet giveaways. Was there anything else on your list for today, Deez?
No, we hit hype and OpenSea. Those are the 2 things that are top of mind. And then the Vanity Fair article we also hit. So
we had to hit Vanity Fair. That was number 1 on
my list. That was number 1.
So appreciate it. Well, folks, again, we're going to do 2 $500 Yeet giveaways. We typically split these up, 1 spin based on weighted, so how much volume folks are actually putting through over on Yeet, and then another one just more pure random for folks who join our contest every day and listen to the show live. So producer Charlie, let's give it a spin. This will be our weighted wheel.
Nice. Smaller weight.
All right. Yeah, the weighted wheel came through for one of the smaller players. So congrats. You have won $500, and producer Charlie is going to fire up the wheel one more time. All right, so this must be maybe our silver or gold wheel. Let's get it. I've seen that name in here before. I don't know if they were chatting today or not. Yep, they are. They're in there. They were commenting on your code. So Charlie liked those comments. So 6069, you have won again. As a reminder, you'll need to log in every day, 5 days, claim $100 at a time. It's just a new process for our friends over at Yeet. And check out that March Madness if that's something that's interesting to you. Believe it is free to enter. And with that, that's going to be it for today. I want to thank all of our listeners. As always, Deez, thank you. We'll be back next Tuesday to hit all the topics.
Continue our streak, hopefully. Get a 3rd green week here.
Oh, boy. How about that? We'd have to be pushing 80 if we're green next week. That'd be.
I'll take it.
All right. Some green candles perhaps in our future. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, everybody.